A couple of months ago, I made a Legion of Superheroes video, and to date, it's the most popular video I've made so far, so you'd think I'd consider it a success. But I did make an egregious error. I failed to make any meaningful mention of Wildfire, a favorite Legionnaire of many fans. So today, I'm devoting an entire video to talking about the one and only anti-energy man himself. Will this be enough to atone for my mistake? Let's find out. When Wildfire came into the Legion of Superheroes scene in the early 70s, he gained immediate popularity with readers. And back in those days, the DC editors actually let the fans choose who they wanted to be Legion leader, and the fans wasted no time in picking Wildfire. Wildfire's tenure in the post was not without its challenges, and the readers only seemed to love him all the more for it. But while popular with the fans, he wasn't always loved by the creators. Jim Shooter called him dull, and the husband and wife writing team of Tom and Mary Bierbaum called him the flattest, most two-dimensional character of the lot. This led to the character having an interesting duality, not just on the page, but behind the scenes as well. Here are the facts. Drake Burroughs, briefly known as ERG-1, more well known as Wildfire, member and one-time leader of the Legion of Superheroes. Created by writer Cary Bates and artist Dave Cochran, he first appeared in Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes number 195 in June 1973. He is a ball of anti-energy whose appearance is primarily defined by his containment suit, usually depicted as a red and orange ensemble, usually featuring a star on the chest. Due to his unique physiology, he has almost all the superpowers. He's super strong, he can fly, he can change his size, he can phase through walls, he has X-ray vision, and he can both blast and absorb high amounts of energy. He's also probably immortal, but none of us will probably ever live long enough to find that out for certain. His condition does have some downsides though. He has no physical body, so his essence must be contained within his special suit. And though he has been in love, his lack of a physical form means he can never be kissed, among other things. Also, every single source I reviewed claims his name was originally supposed to be Starfire, but that name was earmarked for a certain Teen Titan. I don't know if that tidbit is true or apocryphal, but you're gonna see it everywhere you look, so you're gonna hear it here too. I guess we know what I'd do if all my friends jumped off a bridge. Here is Wildfire's story. Drake Burroughs was born sometime in the late 30th century. He was orphaned as a child and grew up in an orphanage before being adopted. He was a smart kid, so he went off to college once he reached the 30th century's appropriate college age. Maybe somewhere between 16 and 18? In college, or Metropolis Multiversity I think they called it, he majored in and excelled in astrophysics. Also, while he was in college, he competed in the Intergalactic Games and finished 5th place. What kind of games? Was it Scrabble? Was it Yahtzee? Heck if I know. This part was in the animated series, so it's not necessarily comic book canon. One day, while studying at the university's research center, Drake was caught in a laboratory explosion that completely destroyed his body. Miraculously, his consciousness survived, and the atoms of his body reconstituted themselves as pure antimatter. This is fairly similar to what happened to Dr. Manhattan over a decade later, which, by the transitive property, means it's fairly similar to what happened to Captain Atom over a decade before. Come on, you know I'm not going to go directly to Captain Atom if I can make a detour through Watchmen. Professor Volton, the guy in charge of the project that disembodied Wildfire, created a specifically designed suit to contain Drake's energy form. The suit enabled Drake the ability to function in a relatively normal existence, including transcribing his thoughts into speech. It also provided him the ability to channel a wide variety of new energy-based superpowers through the suit. You know, all that stuff I said he could do just a couple of minutes ago. With his new abilities, he picked the awesome superhero name Wildfire. Wait, no, he called himself the kind of lame name ERG-1. That sounds kind of like the name of a background droid in Star Wars. It turns out ERG was an acronym for Energy Release Generator, so I suppose it makes sense. But like the name or not, ERG-1 went off to try out for the Legion of Superheroes. Sadly, the guy without a body fell victim to those annoying Legion rules. The rules stated they couldn't accept a new member whose powers were a duplicate of current members. He could change size, but so could Colossal Boy and Shrinking Violet. He was strong, but so was Mon-El. He could pass through walls, but so could Phantom Girl. He could fly, but the Legion had flight rings, so that wasn't impressing him. Look, I've got a flight ring too! You know, he really should have shown them his energy blasts, but the problem was he didn't know if he could control them, so he held back. As if he hadn't been through enough already, the poor guy's application was denied. But lucky for the Legion, he wasn't a sore sport because he saved Colossal Boy from a robot that looked kind of like a gigantic Zamboni on Mana 5. In the act of saving him, his essence left his containment suit and they thought he was dead. The Legion took his energy suit back to their headquarters and displayed it as a memorial to the guy's noble sacrifice. However, Wildfire is many things, but he's not a quitter. He slowly reconstituted himself, made his way back to the energy suit, then saved the team from the Molecule Master. After this, he was finally admitted into the Legion. Geez, that's tougher than getting into the dermatology program at Juilliard. I guess his original containment suit got damaged because Brainiac 5 built him a new one. But for some reason, the new suit didn't allow him all the powers he had in his ERG-1 gear. After all this, Wildfire went back to campus to explain where he'd been. When he got there, he found out the professor had died. The containment suit had been for the professor, who had a degenerative disease, and for whom anti-energy was the only cure. But Wildfire's months-long absence deprived the professor of both his energy and the suit, and he died. The professor's daughter, who I think may have also been a romantic interest, sort of tried to kill Wildfire, but he was able to convince her that her father wouldn't have wanted her to do that. She agreed but demanded that he never see her again. That sounds like an amicable breakup to me. After Lightning Lad goes off to enjoy the married life, the Legion holds an election for a new leader. When the votes are counted, Superboy comes in first and Wildfire comes in second. But how's that supposed to work? The Legion of Superheroes live in the 30th century, and Superboy spends most of his days in the 20th century. As a result of those very circumstances, Superboy becomes the honorary leader and Wildfire becomes the de facto leader. This causes both Superboy and Wildfire to have a couple of bees in their bonnets and leads to a kerfuffle in which they try and feed each other some good old knuckle sandwiches. As a surprise to several Legionnaires, Wildfire actually holds his own with the Kid Kryptonian. But as the Legion leader, Wildfire only gets about 3 out of 5 stars. He's decisive and a gifted tactician, but his poor people skills alienate many of his teammates. But he does end up salvaging his relationship with Superboy because nothing makes fictional guys respect each other like the taste of one another's knuckles. Shortly after becoming leader, Wildfire recruits a young woman with wings to the team named Dawnstar. He quickly becomes enamored with her, and I could see how she might catch a young single person's attention. There seems to be a lot of hints that she was interested in Wildfire too, but she chooses not to admit her feelings. Wildfire finds himself dealing with the situation in an unfortunate fashion that many of us can catch ourselves doing when we're young and don't deal with our feelings very well. He becomes a tad passive-aggressive. The pair fall into the storytelling trope of a love-hate relationship. Eventually, Dawnstar states that she does indeed reciprocate his emotional feelings, but she fears that she'll never know physical love since Wildfire doesn't possess a physical body. That's a fear we've all had at least once, right? I mean, you guys fell in love with a cartoon character or two growing up, didn't you? No? Huh. I guess it was just me. Wildfire leads the Legion through a major crisis called the Earth War, and finds out the villain at the core of the affair was Mordu the Merciless, a notorious Lord of Chaos. But when the Legion changed their rules to let married people be part of the club, Wildfire is defeated for re-election by the recently rejoined Lightning Lad. Wildfire meets a kindred spirit of sorts when Quizlet joins the Legion. Quizlet is a member of a species of pure energy that requires a containment suit to survive on Earth. He teaches Wildfire how to control his energy form without needing the containment suit. In this new form, Wildfire is much closer to human, being visible, tangible, and possessing facial features, but his body is still so hot that his mere touch burns Dawnstar. Talk about being too hot to handle. Unfortunately, Quislet's containment device is destroyed and he's forced to return to his own dimension. After he leaves, Wildfire quickly loses the ability to maintain his form, and thus he resumes use of the containment suit. During the Black Dawn event, Dr. Regulus made the sun unstable, and Wildfire merged his anti-energy with the sun in order to reignite it. This led everyone to believe that Wildfire was a goner, and for a brief time he was. When Wildfire reassembled his energies, the only vessel he could find to contain them was the corpse of Sunboy. He took it and then covered it with one of his containment suits and rejoined the Legion. He kept his use of a fallen Legionnaire's body a secret, however. Of course, at the conclusion of Zero Hour, Wildfire faded away with the rest of the Legion. After the reboot, Wildfire begins life as two separate individuals, both members of rival teen groups. Adam X, a member of Xanthu's Uncanny Amazers, and Blastoff, a Legion reject who joined the workforce. In mystical battle with Mordru, Adam X and Blastoff apparently lost their lives, but actually survived as pure energy, forever merged as a single entity. To preserve this entity once they detected it, the Legion rushed to place it into a humanoid containment suit. The new merged person chose to call himself Drake Burrows, a synthesis of their two previous names, Randall Burrows and Jar Drake Ningle, and adopted the code name ERG-1. ERG-1 was one of the Legionnaires sent to the ends of the universe in Legion Lost, where he took the name Wildfire. In this timeline, his immortal energies have survived to become the inspiration for successive incarnations of the Legion, as far as the 75th century in Legends of a Dead Earth, and the 863rd as Wildflame in DC 1,000,000. In the Lightning Saga, Wildfire is discovered trapped as a statue in the Fortress of Solitude, and later reveals that his containment suit is actually the Red Tornado's robotic shell. This gives Wildfire an awareness of Red Tornado's experiences and leads the two to feel a particular kinship. In the New 52, Wildfire, along with Dawnstar, Chameleon Girl, Tellus, Tyrock, Gates, and Timberwolf, are all stranded in the 21st century after apprehending a time-traveling terrorist. This situation challenges Wildfire, while he must try to fit into the 21st century without altering the future from whence he came. Wildfire appeared in an episode of Justice League Unlimited titled Far From Home, and he also showed up in the second season of the Legion of Superheroes. Also good to know that Drake Burrows wasn't the first character named Wildfire. Quality Comics had a Golden Age character called Wildfire. Her non-hero name was Carol Vance Martin, and she first appeared in Smash Comics in 1941. She had red hair and a revealing costume, and has been called the sexiest character of 1941 by comic book legend Roy Thomas. So, if Wildfire is one of your favorite members of the Legion, I hope this video scratched your itch. What other Legion of Superheroes topics would you like me to cover? Let me know down in the comments. Maybe the Great Darkness Saga or the Legion of Substitute Heroes? Like I said, let me know and I'll see if I can make it happen. Thanks for watching the video. Maybe you can give it a like. Please subscribe so you get more videos about topics from comic books, fantasy, sci-fi, and related media, as well as my Sunday ramblings about topically relevant movies, television, and books. Be sure and hit the bell so you never miss an episode, and until next time, remember, heroes are super.